Today we'll have a look at how to disassemble and clean the Beretta 87 target. The 87 is a target pistol in .22 caliber, and this is how I do it. The gun is checked, obviously, it's not loaded. And before we start, I'll just quickly recap what we will need. You will need a rod to push through the bore. You will need a patch holder to hold the patches. You will need a brush for the .22 caliber. You also need some patches to put through the bore, and also some bigger patches to just clean the gun. In addition to that, you can use some cotton swabs. I like to use those. Today we will use one shot gun cleaner and lubricant, which is a dry lubricant. We will also use the rimfire blend. This is a bore cleaner that I like really much. I find it cleans the barrels better than most other products. Also, when you're done cleaning, we will try to use a lubricant, a grease from TW25. In order to take the Beretta 87 apart, you will need to loosen these front screws. You do that by using the Allen wrench that comes with the gun. I like to position the screws so that I know which one was in front. That was the one in front, and the other one is the rearmost screw bolt. We remove this front weight. Now we can depress this button so that we can turn this lever, and now we just pull the upper part off, and here is the lower part, the frame. And now we can take the recoil spring off, and we are left with the slide and the barrel. As usual, I will start with soaking a patch, running it through the barrel, and let it sit. On the previous video, I did not do what I will do now, which is to leave the patch in the barrel while we wait for this solvent to do its part. So I make sure that the entire barrel is soaked. And I will let the patch sit in the barrel so that we can dissolve as much as we can from the chamber area. Now I will use this one shot lubricant and cleaner, soak the patch. And first, I will clean the slide here. This gun has not been cleaned in quite some time. The nice thing about the one shot is that it dries pretty fast, dries up. Do the insides of the rails. We also need to do the breech area. make sure to get out everything that comes beneath the extractor here, so that there is no debris between the extractor and the breech face. You don't have to clean the gun as thoroughly as I do now. Getting most of the debris out is enough. It does not have to be squeaky clean, but we'll see how this goes. Now the slide is done, we can do the frame. You could see the sheen on the gun from the previous gun oil that I used. That was weapon shield. This gun has not been cleaned for many hundred rounds, and you can still see the weapon shield on there doing its job. That's what I like so much about the weapon shield. But today we will use a dry lubricant, and instead of that we will use the grease for lubricating when we are done cleaning. I make sure to get the slide rails as clean as I can. Also, you can see here that there are some wear marks. I tend to lubricate those marks as well. When we get to the lubrication part. I just run the Q-tip. You can see it's not very dirty now. For me at least, this is perfectly fine to run the gun several hundred rounds, which I do. On the previous gun we cleaned, which was the Glock, we did not want to get any oil down into the mechanism here, into the action, and I tend to avoid it on my Beretta also. Here you can also see some wear marks. We will make sure that those parts are greased as well. This patch or this swab was dry when I put it into the action here. I am happy with the frame. Now we have just the pretty much the barrel left. I will quickly run some of the Hornady one-shot gun cleaner and lube on this spring. Also the front weight. I don't know if you can see it properly, but there's a sheen here also. I always put some oil there, and There are several, probably several months has this been laying there, so you can see it hasn't dried out at all. Now onto the barrel. I usually run the brush through the barrel about 5 or 6 times. I recently run a bore scope through this barrel, and it looked pristine. It looked brand new almost, and I don't even know how many thousand rounds I put through this gun. Probably 20,000 or so, probably. So it looked brand new with the treatment that I give it. You could also use a bore snake. I use that quite a lot, especially in the guns that we shoot a lot at the range, and when I clean them I don't pay this much attention to the guns. I usually just use a bore snake. I also tend to use bore snake for my 9mm. Pay special attention to the chamber area here. The reason why I push it through is to reverse the swab, to use both sides of the swab. This is pretty much clean enough for me, but I will do one more patch using the one shot. You can obviously use many different kinds of products for cleaning. I would suggest against using WD-40, engine oil, stuff like that. At least use a product that is suited for guns, for weapons. And which are made for the job. You can see this was actually a somewhat dirty barrel. I might have to run the brush through the barrel again. I'll run the brush through, probably pause the video for this part. Now it's clean enough for me. So we are done with the barrel. I will just go through the gun, wipe down using some of the one shot, wipe the exterior of the gun. Now I'm pretty much ready to reassemble the gun, but first we will lubricate using the TW25. The areas where you need to lubricate on this gun is the rails. We will put some grease on here. Tiny bit. You can also make sure to put some grease on the barrel part here. And just inside here where the spring goes. Other than that, I will show you one more point, lubrication point, to cover after we have fully reassemble the gun. There is no friction on this part. I just like to lubricate this. Partially for me to see how the lubrication works and how it behaves over time. Now we can reassemble. We take the barrel, you take the slide and put the two parts together. Now we put the spring inside of the slotted area here in the slide and push it through the hole in the rear and let it rest on the notch on the barrel. I put the slide back until it stops before rotating the lever back to its position. Putting the front weight in place. Putting the screws, the rear one, the front one, I don't use force when I tighten these snugly. I wipe off the excess of the grease. And I believe that this actually is a little bit smoother than using weapon shield. I get a little smoother running slide. The area that you can lubricate on this gun, which I also believe is in the manual, is just on top here. Make sure the slide is open and put either a drop or a little dab of grease. You definitely do not need much here. This is probably too much. That's it for disassembly, cleaning and assembly of the Beretta 87 target. The magazine rarely needs any cleaning or lubrication at all. It doesn't need any lubrication in my point of view. You can use the same wrench to remove this butt plate, and if you do not want to do that, you can just clean whatever you can reach by releasing tension on the follower here and just cleaning from atop. That's what I would suggest doing. That's it.